Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Baharukah Kudash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstones, for giving us, for teaching us the scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all your true Akyam around the world doing this work in sincerity and in truth. Shalom. So this video I want to go into this article, that spiked my attention. So let me just go into the article and then I go into some scriptures. Tax bill for the king. They keep the assets hidden. So this is the thing, and this is not the thing that I gotta say recently, but people are really busy, here in Holland, for example, not only in Holland, with their leaders, You see it in many countries, people revolting against the kings, the leaders, for example, France has been losing a lot of money, by the coup that, the military did in Niger, Gabon, in Mali, maybe some other country, I don't know. I forgot, maybe I forgot something, but they basically replaced the puppets there, the puppet leaders, they replaced them with the army and by the army, and yeah, they basically took over, and you see a lot of more and more of these things going on now in Holland here. Let me just read the article, otherwise I just gonna spill the beans. A majority of the political parties participating in the House of Representatives elections next month believe that the royal family should pay taxes. And this also show you the weakness of this rulership, this final kingdom, this kingdom of Esau is very weak, You can see it. Okay, they can come with some harsh things, like as is described in the book of Daniel. Matter of fact, let me just read that. It's been described that, partly is hard, like iron, and the other part is like clay, but it doesn't stick together. That's also why you see these Edomites being not on one accord with each other, For example, Russia are Edomites, America are Edomites, so they are standing across to each other, Now, before that, you had, I call that Slovakia. Slovakia used to be a very down with Ukraine, but now they got a new president there, and that president, he is more in the favor of Russia, and those are Edomites also. So, in Eastern Europe, and even there they are divided, So this is the book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse. Let me start as verse 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes, this is the dream that the king had, and Daniel, he to Yahweh, Yahweh gave him, revealed the dream of the king to him, because the king was like, yeah, y'all need to, I had a dream, y'all need to explain me the dream, but I ain't going to tell you what my dream is, So for his counselors that he had, it was an impossible task, and then Daniel came and he was like, they were very scared because king told him if they couldn't explain the dream to him, then he would kill them, So they were so afraid, and Daniel got wind of it, and to the spirit of Yahweh, he revealed the dream to him, and so he explained the dream to him. It was about all these kingdoms, all these previous kingdoms, and he explained that the one of the last kingdom is going to be partial clay, partial iron, and it won't stick together, and it's going to be weaker. On one side weak and one side hard, and that is this queen of what we live in right now. The Roman and the Greek Empire revived. But it's coming to an end. You see all these things going on. These are all signs of the end. And our kingdom, the kingdom of Yasharallah, the kingdom of Yahweh Basham Yahushai, is around the corner. And it's very beautiful to be aware of that, And this is the book of Daniel, chapter 2, and verse 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes, part of the potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay. And clay and iron, it doesn't stick, And that's why you see they, like I said, they are not on one accord. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And that's the thing that they've been pushing from way back. This one world order. But yeah, it doesn't. This is not the way that the Most High wants it. So it doesn't gonna work like that. It's it's very easy, man. So let me go back to the article. A majority of the political parties participating in the House of Representatives elections next month believe that the royal family should pay taxes. How likely is that the constitution will be amended that Willem-Alexander and his family will receive a blue envelope? 8 questions and answers about this issue. Do the king and his family have to pay taxes on their income? Most parties participating in the House of Representatives elections on November 22 think so. New social contract by Pieter Omtzigt en BBB, GroenLinks, PvdA, PVV, SP, D66, Volt, Denk, Party for the Animals, and Bij One are all in favor. And although VVD, CDA, ChristenUnie, and SGP remained opposed, a necessary 2/3 majority is in sight. The NOS calculated that according to the current polls, those in favor can count on 11 seats, while hundreds are less lucky. Those in favor can count on 111 seats, while 100 are needed. So that shows you that the majority is for that, And they've been hiding their money, they get, they've been getting infinity money, going on trips, doing the C19, the country is on lockdown, they having a vacation in Spain, or they go on skiing in Austria or whatever, where they went, They caught them several times, Beautiful, man. Beautiful, man. So these people standing up against their own king. And that shows you the weakness of this queendom. Because back in the days, if you even give a wrong look towards the king, you would lose your head for that, And now here you have it, even like a while, years ago, the queen, when the queen's mother was in rulership, and they had this golden couch, and they were going around in Den Haag. People were throwing eggs and stuff to the golden couch and stuff like that. And even recently, I believe like 2 weeks ago or something, they went to South Africa to visit a slave museum, and the inhabitants there, the original the natives from South Africa, they wanted to attack the king and the queen, So the king, he fled into the car, and he basically left his wife, He left her there. She was the last one that could got to the car, So that also shows you the spirit of these devils, man. They're a bunch of weak pussies, man. How the fuck are you a king and you go and put your ass in the car and leave your wife outside, man? Beautiful, man. What does or does not the royal family pay taxes on? The royal family is exempt from all direct taxes, say historian, writer, and investigative journalist Philip Droge, who wrote the book at Oranje Kapitaal about the financial dealings of the House of Orange. So they don't pay tax on income, inheritance, and donations. Yeah. And they got a lot of money with a lot of blood on it. But like the book of Job said, he shall farm it everything up, So yeah. This arrangement applies to Kings Willem-Alexander, Queen Maxima, former Queen, now Princess Beatrix, this mother of Willem, and from the 18th birthday also to the throne Princess Amalia. The latter will pay back her annual contribution in 2023. It will be 100,727,000 euros, of which 307,000 euros will be income and the rest for expensive until she graduates. So that's money that she get, I think, by a month or something. According to the rules, it doesn't say it. According to the rules, wealth tax is a levied on the private assets of the royal family. That's quite a lot, isn't it? Nobody knows. I have no indication that the Oranges have ever received a tax assessment for capital gains tax, says Droge. You never hear anything about it. Moreover, in order to tax assets, those assets must first become visible to the tax authorities. The problem is the ultra rich of this world know how to hide their assets well through all kinds of specialized private banks and trust offices, he says. The rich of the world pay very little tax. Yeah, we know about that. The real estate they own is usually owned by the state and loaned out. Yeah, they got all these tricks, you know. The art collections hang on their wall but are housed in foundations and so on. The official own nothing, but they have a lot. He's just the devil, man. Why doesn't the king have to pay taxes? The agreement has been in the constitution since 1848 to ensure that the head of state, then King Willem I, does not end up in the dark. This guarantees the independence of the monarch. The deal was ensured in Article 40 of the Constitution. Philip Droge, the reason is that the state pay for the king. Yeah. That's why people, though it was crazy to ask for taxes, because then you give with one hand and take with the other. If the law is amended on this part, it could turn out to be purely symbolic. There's a good chance that the king will in that case be compensated through a higher annual compensation. Parties in the House of Representatives quickly say during this discussion that the king should have the same net result, says Droge. It's a vest pocket issue. What does the king himself think of it? When asked, the government information service stated that it would not comment. Of course, the king himself briefly talked about it earlier this year in the podcast To the Eyes of the King. Yeah, into looking all this wickedness of yourself, man. A lot of shit be coming out on these devils, man. Beautiful, man. He told interviewer Edwin Evers, I understand that being a head of a state costs money, regardless of what form. Every euro spent is justified, of course. Money is not thrown around. We simply pay most of the taxes. Yeah. Great story. Money is not thrown around. Going every time on vacation. The whole country is on fucking lockdown. And you're flying out to Spain or wherever they went. Having a holiday. Nobody was around to leave the country, this and that, you know. Would it improve his image? That question, says Droge. If the population see it as a symbolic circus in which the family reluctantly participates, it could also cause bad blood. I don't think it helps. It would be better for his image if he deposits a part of it back on his own, as Amalia does, but there are no indication that he intends to do so. Of course not. It is interesting that the royal family goes on holiday with the government plane that costs a few thousand euros per year. What about the rest of the family? In principle, they are liable to pay taxes like the rest of the population, albeit with quite favorable exceptions. Droge, the head of the family, in this case Willem-Alexander, can donate money tax-free to his family members, brothers, uncles and aunts, nephews and nieces. Yeah, keep the money in your family. Everyone. That also happened when Juliana died. Beatrix then inherited the fortune, says Droge, so tax-free. Yeah, and that's not happening with the regular people, you know. So tax-free and donated, also tax-free to others, to other heirs. Willem-Alexander does that too if the recipients do not then hide that money. For example, in a trust on the island of Jersey, the tax authorities may charge wealth tax on it, but they don't let that happen so easily. If they earn a salary or make a profit from a company, they pay taxes on it just like you and I. Could it really happen now? Sander Paulus, Royal House reporters for RTL News, emphasized that we are still a long way from that. First, we have to wait for next month's elections and see whether there is sufficient support. Those parties must then vote in favor of the change with a two-thirds majority. The Senate will then have its say, and then we have to wait and see whether the next cabinet wants to ratify the change. So normally it won't be possible until 5 or 6 years. It won't be possible until 5 or 6 years at the earliest, but I don't see it happening that soon. Historian Droge also had a hard head about it. The discussion has been had many times, and in the end nothing happens every time. And if it does happen, they will not be in the slightest bit affected by what they actually possess. They will make a small part of the wealth visible as a symbol, but that will be a drop. What can it bring to the treasure of the six 64,000 and 8,000 euros the king will receive this year? 100,000, 35,000 is income. Queen Maxima received 100 and 111,000, 100,000 and 11 and 11,000, 111,000. Man, it's a lot of money, man. Thousand, that's a million. Or what is this? A million. Let me see. Let's 6,000,000 for 400. Yeah, 6,408,000 euros the king will receive this year. 1,035,000. 1,035,000 is income. Queen Maxima received 1,111,000, of which 411,000 is income. Beatrix will earn 1,739,000 euros this year, of which 5,085,000 is income. The tax on this would amount a few thousand euros. They could take the bite from the capital gains tax, says Droge. I estimate that the family fortune is around 1 billion euros. But as I said, it must first become visible. I would think that is fair. We taxpayers cough up all of that. In return, we would like a little transparency as back. Sander Paulus says he is surprised that the discussion about the financial details has become so heated. We have agreed in the Netherlands that we want a king. This means that as a country we decide that one person is different from all the other residents. The royal house is dependent on the state. Paulus continues, if we think we compensating too high, we can possibly have a discussion about the amount of that compensation, but I don't really understand why the tax on the compensation is considered so important. Who else doesn't pay taxes? The king is not the only one in the Netherlands who is exempt from income tax. The exception also applies to employees of international organizations such as the European Union, of course, NATO, the United Nations, the International Court of Justice, the European Patent Office, the AESA, ESTEC, and people who work as Dutch civil servants at the Justice Department in Curacao. Oh, they're also, on the island, they also make this tax-free money. European Union pension is also exempt from tax in the Netherlands. Pension from other international organizations are taxed. So yeah, there you have it. But yeah, like I said, these are all signs, showing us that Esau is going down, because these were things back in the days that wouldn't occur. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, so all this uproars of the people that you be seeing going on. Here, they had a while that they were blocking the road, the A12. They were blocking the road every week for a month or maybe for 2 months something. Now they stopped with it recently. Beginning of this month they did it for the last time, and now they stopped with it for a while. But they used to do it every week, man. For they shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And you see it more and more that they, how said it, they going against the king. They are not down with against the king, against the government. They are not down with the way the things are going on right now. And this is an example from how it's how how a king used to act back in the days, and it was not wise for you to go against the king. This is the book of Esther, chapter 1, and let me start at verse 10. On the seventh day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Bista, Harbona, Bichta, and Abachta, Zetar, and Karkas, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ashurus the king, to bring Vashti the queen before the king, with the crown royal, to show the people and the princes her beauty, for she was fair to look on. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king manner towards all that new law and judgment. And the next unto him was Karshena, Shetar, Atma, Tarshish, Meres, Marsina, and Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia, and Media, which saw the king's face, and which said the first in the kingdom, what shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law, because she had not performed the commandment of the king Ashurus by the chamberlains? And Memucan answered before the king, and the princess Vashti, the queen, had not done wrong. And the princess Vashti, the queen, had not done wrong to the king only, but also to all princes and to all the people that are that are in all the provinces of the king Ashurus. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes when it shall be reported. The king Ashurus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought before him, but she came not. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's prisons, which have heard of the deed of the queen. Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let her go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of Persian and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before the king Ashurus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. So, and a king back in the days, he could easily behead her, be an example. Oh, she didn't want to come, this is what I do with her. Pop, head off. But he just got the throne away from her. And when the king's decree which he shall make shall be published through out all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small. And the saying pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan. So she was done. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, and to every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people. So this is ook and that shows you that back in the days they still had some dignity. A woman's supposed to be under a man, but nowadays you will find they're going against it. That is how Esau wants it. And that's also how you call it, a firm foundation is going down. If that foundation is off balance, then everything is off balance. Yeah. So Esau by doing these things, he's also digging his own grave, and that's beautiful to see. Yeah. So I just want to go a little bit in this article. I find it very funny, that they're going against this dumbass king, and yeah, basically that was it, man. So I'm gonna leave it like that. So with that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Waharuka Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of the apostles of Great Millstones, and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us the scriptures, among other things, and salutations to Yakim across the earth for doing this work in sincerity and in truth. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.